Good afternoon all. I want to take a look at this image. This is a man, he's holding a fork, he has a knife in his hand. In front of him is a plate containing the planet Earth. He's consuming it. This man right here is a killer, just like every one of us sitting down in this room. But before you start thinking of running away from this room, let me try to explain what I mean. If you drive a car, you use perfume that contains chlorofluorocarbon. You believe in building of houses, construction of roads, railways, and some other infrastructural facilities. Then you are a killer. You are killing the environment. This boils down to the topic we'll be discussing today. We'll be talking about global warming. But before we start, I would like to give a kind of precise definition or explanation of global warming. Global warming simply means persistent or gradual rise in temperature and then the level of water body in the world caused by various human activities such as burning of fossil fuel, deforestation, and even burning of vegetation. When we use fossil fuel so that we can drive our cars, so that industrial plants can produce goods and services, we use perfumes that contains chlorofluorocarbon. All these activities encourages the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and the effect of this is that the ozone layer that serves as a kind of protection so that the ultraviolet ray will not get into the atmosphere is damaged. Then the intensity of ultraviolet ray to the Earth's surface increases, which invariably increase the level of temperature in the Earth, and then as a result the polar iceberg starts to melt down. Then the level of water body in the world increases. This is basically what global warming actually means. So I would like to discuss the effect of global warming in our environment. One, that's led to a kind of climatic variation in so many parts of the world. And as we all know, climate basically means prevailing weather condition in a geographic area over a long period of time, usually 25 years. But in the recent time, the level of temperature in various parts of the world has increased, the level of water body has increased. This has kind of promotes a kind of significant changes in climatic pattern of various parts of the world. And then one of the effects of this is that it has led to a kind of inadequate food production in the world, because most farmers, they plan their agricultural production time based on the weather. Another effect of global warming is the environmental hazard in terms of flooding, desert encroachment, and severe storms. As I earlier said, the solar iceberg is melting down, the level of water is increasing, and then with a continuous rainfall, flooding will come up, then leading to destruction of property and lives. Then thirdly, another effect of global warming is that it has led to extinction of some plant and animal species in the world, because their natural environment has been altered. They can no longer survive, so as a result they went into extinction. Having considered all these effects, we should put measures in place so that we can continue to survive in our environment. One of the measures that should be considered is encouraging alternative source of energy. That is, we should move away from non-renewable sources of energy, that is, burning of fossil fuel, to renewable source of energy. That is, the use of solar energy, wind energy, and biofuels. There are, in fact, so many investors, the visionary ones, are trying to move away from investing in non-renewable energy to renewable energy. Secondly, afforestation and buffer zones should be encouraged, because if afforestation is encouraged, more plants are grown, and plants contains chlorophyll that can absorb all these greenhouse gases. Then thirdly, social orientation should be done so that people will get to know more about global warming. Conclusively, I think I should encourage each and every one of us that we have just only one planet, and our activity is the basic cause of global warming. We should try as much as possible to strike a kind of balance between what we do and then our environment, so that our environment will be a better place for us to live. Thank you for being part of the discussion. I appreciate your presence. Anybody with any question?
Please, what do you mean by buffer zone?
Buffer zone basically means establishing a kind of natural vegetation. You have a kind of natural vegetation, you don't alter it, you let it be, no cutting of trees for any reason. The particular location of your geographic territory. So it's more or less the same thing as afforestation, but it has been existing. You don't cut trees, you just let it be, just like what they have in Brazil, the Amazon forest. In fact, Brazil is making substantial amount of money from these concepts based on what they call carbon trading.
Question.
Yeah.
What are the various types of greenhouse gases?
There are so many types of greenhouse gases. Like I earlier said, we have the chlorofluorocarbon, we have the methane, we have the carbon monoxide, we have the water vapor, and so many other greenhouse gases that are very harmful to our society, our environment. Thank you all for being part of the discussion.